with introductions. These are our Bitmojis that we made for our talk. We love them. I think we'll just go from left to right across the scene. And so I'll go ahead and start. I'm Robin Flatland. I'm faculty in the Computer Science Department at Siena College. For the last 10 years or so, I've been working closely with high school teachers, helping them start computer science classes. I've been working on CS certification programs, and I co-coordinate 2 of the dual enrollment CS courses at Siena. Now, maybe we'll skip Jim for a moment. Norval?
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much, Robin. I'm so honored to be here with this amazing panel. I'm Norval Connell. I'm an administrator in the Enlarged City School District of Middletown, New York. My role is that I'm the instructional leader for STEM. I've spent the last 4 years building something that I'm extremely proud of in partnership with Siena, and it's a computer science program with this amazing team. And I think we're talking about 21st century skills. It is the center of STEM education. So that's why we have on the top, CS is life. So I'm really happy to feel some excitement around computer science and to be with this team. So I'll pass it on to Pauline.
Hi, everyone. I'm Pauline White. I am an instructor in the Computer Science Department at Siena College. I started out my career as a software engineer for GE Research and Development. While I was earning my certification to teach math and tech in New York, I taught at Siena College. And then I left and taught at Burnt Hills High School and Middle School for several years. Now I'm back at Siena College. I've been working with Jim and Robin for the last 7 years on supporting CS education in high schools in our area. I'm the author of our high school program called Discovering Computer Science, and I co-support the CSIS 120 dual enrollment, our Java dual enrollment course.
Cool. So hopefully Jim will be able to join us soon. But he also is from Siena, computer science faculty member, and he's working on the dual enrollment programs and starting CS classes in high school as well. So I'll go on. I want to give you just a quick overview of what we're going to be talking about. We're going to start with the CS growth at Middletown High School, one of our awesome partnering schools. We're going to talk about why we need CS in high school, and we're going to give some details on 4 Siena-supported high school CS courses. And then we're going to turn it over to Norval to talk about the Middletown High School story. And then we'll wrap up by talking about our professional learning community, the high school partners that we're working with. And then we want to extend a welcome to any of you who might be interested in joining our group. All right, Norval.
So I'm really excited to share the growth that we've had so far in Middletown. When we started out this, it was just it was an ambitious task. We started out with a discovery course. So we started in 2019 and we had 1 class, right? And with this amazing team, we actually spent time together and trying to say, we've always had the plan to grow the program. So the year after, we actually started with in 2020, we started a year having 2 computer science classes. That was the discovery course. And now those students who have passed were able to move on to the second course, which is our computer science principle, which is a CS 120 course. So then we move on to the third year we did 3 classes. Now we became really ambitious because we realized that the growth was getting so fantastic. We sent a plethora of teachers to be trained at Siena College. And then for this year, we find that we're offering courses in the following grades. 7 different grades, we're offering actually courses to our students. So what does that mean in terms of student growth? So if we go to the next slide, you will see that we started off 2019 having 29 students. And I'm telling you, I was a little disappointed because I'd promised Jim that I'm going to have all these kids signing up. And when it maxed out at 29, I was like, oh, is this it? But the next year, we saw that we had positive growth. And what's not in that number is the number of females that actually started to grow. That was amazing that we had so much success with that. And then in 2021, we went up even more. So we continued with that growth. We had 117 students that were registered and participated in computer science class. But I'm going to wear a drum roll for the last one because this year has been amazing. With the training and everything, we have 933 students participating in computer science classes. For us, that's an amazing feat, and we celebrate that. It's not just the work that Middletown has done, but it's an absolute great partnership that we've had with Siena College.
Thank you, Norval. So Pauline, maybe together we can do Jim's slides. I think we can handle it. So we wanted to start with why CS in high school. So we have a question for you. You can put this in the chat. What % of students in New York State take a high school math course? Just throw it out there. It's not a trick question. Yep. Awesome. 100%. Thank you, Tim. Okay, 100% take a math course. What % of students take a high school science course? Throw it out there. Awesome. 100%. What % of students take a high school computer science course? Guesses? Some of you may have been at the keynote yesterday. 25%, 10%, 5%. Pauline, is it 13%? 4.3%. Is that correct, Pauline?
3.4%.
3.4, even worse, 3.4%, and even a smaller fraction of those are females. So with it being a leading skill in the 21st century, we clearly need more students taking computer science. And in addition, not only that, but 67% of all new jobs in STEM are in computing, but only 10% of our STEM graduates are in computer science. So there's a real disparity here. So what are some of the challenges? Well, we need CS teachers for sure. We need quality CS course offerings. We need leadership and commitment, which I think this conference is contributing to greatly. And then we, of course, need to address and implement the New York State CS learning standards in the upcoming few years. So a lot of challenges. And so to address these challenges, Siena has been developing a comprehensive program of support for high school computer science. We've been working on this for about 10 years now, and it's been supported by 3 different National Science Foundation grants. What we're trying to do is leverage strong college and high school partnerships and the synergy that can come from those relationships. We have an extensive professional development program and full curriculum support for 4 courses, a Discovering CS course, which Pauline developed, and it's a high school level only course. And then we have 3 dual enrollment courses, Intro to CS with Multimedia and Python, Intro to Java Programming. And this year we're pioneering a new dual enrollment course, which is Web Design. We also have the opportunity for teachers in our program to take courses, computer science courses, for free at Siena. This can help contribute towards the 12 credits that you need for CS certification in New York. The grants have been paying for the tuition for the teachers to take the courses, but Siena has said that if we run out of grant support, that they will continue to support this and let teachers take the courses for free. So as long as there's a seat in the course, and we haven't had a problem with that as of yet. We also have a vibrant professional learning community of high school teachers, college faculty, and administrators who've been collaborating over multiple years in a variety of different contexts to address many of these challenges that are ahead of us as we work to implement the New York State standards. And I'm going to turn it over to Pauline to talk a little bit about the Discovering CS course.
Yeah, so I put in the chat, the Discovering CS course, as Robin mentioned, is a 9-12 high school course for all students. But at Middletown High School, they are this year offering it to their 8th grade honors students, which is really amazing. So they are, when we started Discovering Computer Science 4 years ago, I called my 6 teachers that I started with my pioneers. Jess Guthrie at Middletown was one of those. And Middletown is pioneering again. I have 3 teachers in their middle school who's offering this course now to middle school students. and helping to adapt the curriculum to an appropriate level for them. So in the Discovering Computer Science course, as I said, no experience required for this class. It's open, and we really are working really hard to make this course inviting to every student and accessible for every student. Many of our school districts offer Discovering Computer Science as a third-year math credit. As you know, in New York, computer science is an elective credit course, and you can also, at your district level, opt to offer it as a science credit course. The course foundation is 100% hands-on work. It's an active learning course. So students are working on labs and projects throughout the entire school year. And we really built into those assignments or those activities the ability for students to express themselves creatively and to express what's important to them. We are currently offering Discovering Computer Science in 22 different districts, and our course has 4 components. So we have 3 different opportunities for students to engage in programming. We do a block-based unit, a web unit, and a Python unit. And then 1/4 of our course is dedicated to unplugged activities and special projects where students engage with how computer science is prevalent in our world, how they can see it in places that they're interested in exploring in the future, how their choices with technology affect them and their community, and how they can use technology to influence and make positive change in their communities and on a larger scale here. The course currently meets about 2/3 of the New York State standards, and over the next 2 years, we are dedicated to making this course meet 100% of the 912 learning standards for New York. And then I think on the next slide, I think there is some examples of student work.
Oh, keep going.
So Robin, go to the next slide. Yes, thank you. Okay. Oh, before we get to that, so over the last 4 years, you know, the course has been in development. So we started really with, you know, just myself writing the material, and then the next year we focused on access, and that happened to be the COVID year. So we brought in 2 teachers and 2 Siena College CS education or in math education students to help us adapt the curriculum to be more accessible, and especially in remote learning. And then in the next 2 years, or in the last 2 years, we have been really focusing on the equity piece and helping teachers understand what equity means in computing and how we can make our classrooms an inviting space for all students here. So I do have some examples of student work here. If you do have access to the slides, Robin put the link in the chat earlier. These links are clickable, so you can open copies of some of these projects just to see what the students did. As you can see, it's very colorful, very expressive. The GIF that's at the bottom with Parks and Recreation, if you click on that, the student actually coded the theme song for that program in their project. So this is just an example of some of the work that we do in the block-based part of this course. Robin, if you want to go to the next slide. In the Python part of the course, this is sort of the middle of the year here. So here we're really challenging and stretching our students. We give them a gentle introduction into Python by transitioning and using Python blocks and letting them see the Python text. And then we transition to all text. This part of the course is really focused on problem solving and applications in the real world. So here on the screen, you see 2 examples of that. They're doing some unit conversions. And then also the car shopping is a piece of the course where every lab and project that students do, they create an entry in their Google site, which helps them reflect on the work that they've done and also showcase the work that they've done. So the car shopping application that you see here, Students have written a program to calculate interest rates and other things. And then in their Google site, they take 2 cars and they compare them to see which car might be the best, and they write that up as a proposal to their client, which is a fun activity here. Go ahead, next slide. And then in our web programming classes comes at the end of the year. This is really a culmination of everything that students learn. So they've done block-based programming. They've repeated a lot of the same cognitive load that they need for basic computing in Python, and now they're doing it again in web, and again in a creative and expressive way. So they get to in their projects at the end, they get to create an idea book or an all about me book, and show off things that are important to them, but also their skills in computing on the web. Yep, go ahead.
Thank you, Pauline. Yeah. So so we also have 3 dual enrollment courses. So I'm going to talk a little bit about the first one, the one that's most widely implemented in high schools right now. This is our Intro to Computer Science with Python and Multimedia course, and it's we've been offering it at Siena College in various versions since 2009. So it's a well-established course, and it's currently being offered both at Siena as well as at 19 high schools. We have a full curriculum available for the course, and we've organized it on a curriculum map for the high schools with links to lecture materials, labs, projects, quarterly exams, everything you can need. You could use the materials as is, or you can adapt them for your classroom as you see fit. The course covers both concepts and programming. So it's a mix. The 2 are interleaved throughout the year. And in that way, it's similar in spirit to the AP CS Principles course. And Siena charges $200 for the 3 credits. Students don't have to take it for college credit, but if they choose to, it's $200. And then we waive that fee, Siena waives that fee for students qualifying for free and reduced lunch. So I just want to give you an overview of some of the topics that are covered in the course. On the conceptual side, we talk about algorithms, history of computer science, and societal impact. We cover data representation, Boolean logic, and circuits. There's a unit on hardware and assembly language. And then we also touch on upper level, higher level topics like operating systems and artificial intelligence. And then on the programming side, we use Python as the language, and we use a multimedia library, which allows students to pretty quickly start manipulating images and sounds and animations. And so their projects involve images, sounds, and animations and allow them to really express themselves creatively. They're very open-ended projects. The students can go crazy with them. So if they, if they want to, they can just keep adding bells and whistles to these projects, making them cooler and cooler. The next couple of slides just show some sample student work from the project to give you a sense of what kind of things they're creating. This is actually the first project that they do. It's an image sequence project, and the students take a picture that they want to use, and they write Python code to manipulate it, to do things like make grayscale, inverted images. They reduce the RGB values to make some cool effects, and they can add words and other things. This is another project that they do, the image collage project, where they write Python code to create an image with multiple copies of an image they pick, and they do some cool mirroring effects and some scaling effects in this one. And then these are the animations. Let me see if I can start these playing. These are some of the animations that the students created. And again, they're doing this with Python code. And so they're writing code to generate each frame of these animations. And I know the high school teachers, they do this at the end of the year. It's sort of the final project, and they have a lot of fun with it. Okay, let me see if I can get to the next slide. There. And I'm not going to say much about our other two dual enrollment courses that we offer, but there are opportunities for the students to do much more. We have an Intro to Programming in Java course for dual enrollment. It's similar to the APCSA course. And then we also have, as I think I mentioned, for the first time this year, we're offering a web design course. It covers HTML, CSS, and design fundamentals for creating user-friendly websites. Okay. And then as far as teacher support goes, we do have extensive professional development for these courses. We do 4 days in the summer with teachers, and then we meet regularly during the school year. And we also include equity teaching strategies and practices as part of that. And as I mentioned, we have full curriculum materials available. We have a hotline of support for questions, and we call it a hotline just because the high school teachers tell us that we're very quick at responding to their technical, when they have a technical question. We respond very quickly to email. And then we do have those tuition waivers for teachers who want to take courses at Siena. And in fact, the teachers who are teaching our dual enrollment courses often take the dual enrollment course at Siena for credit before they teach it at their high school, or at the same time they're teaching it at their high school. It's worked out really well. And if anyone's interested in doing that, I'd be glad to talk about it at the end of the talk. Jim, oh no, I'm going to turn it over to Norval to talk about the Middletown story.
I know. I probably just want to invite Jim's voice because he didn't get a chance to introduce himself just before I tell my story. Jim.
Okay.
Do you want to?
Hello, everybody. Can you see me and hear me?
Yes.
I switched over to the laptop.
Good. It's working.
So I am here. Thanks for covering me. Let's go to Norval, and then I'll say a few things at the end. I think I can do my slides at the end.
All right. Thank you, Jim. All right. So I want to. Yeah, absolutely. I want to talk about the Middletown story because the Middletown story is really the story of Middletown and Siena together. Right. But before I even begin, the motivation behind all of this is the fact that I was an assistant principal in New York City. And at that time, I used to tutor students in the Middletown School District. And these were bright students. They were bright students. And I remember I had so much dreams for these students. And they all went off to colleges, expensive colleges, by the way. And I never really found out what they majored in until after they graduated. But a sad part of that story is that I remember one of my students got really sick after she got her student loan bill and realized that her major will never give her a career that will be able to repay the amount of money that she owed. And I worried about that. I felt like I failed her. Never really advised her about the 21st century skills. So you look at the job market and you realize your graduates are not being prepared for the skills that are marketable in this new economy, in a 21st century economy. So when I came to Middletown, I came with the desire to make sure that 21st century skills is going to be central, and all our students are going to be ready for this. But there were no computer science, and computer science is at the center of 21st century skills. So I've always had this desire to create this computer science program, but did not know how to start. So I had no teachers, I had no curriculum, right? And I didn't have any buy-in from anybody. I kept selling this. So eventually I found out of a gentleman called Jim Matthews at Siena College. And I think my life changed. That first conversation, it probably lasted 2 hours, right? And we just made a huge connection because our paths were aligned, because we were so gung-ho into making sure that our students will graduate with 21st century skills that is marketable, that they're going to become innovators, and that they can design the future to come. So we started working and what's our pathway and how do we do this? So, an old professor once told me that if you want to start a good school, you need to hire good teachers. So as I was talking to Jim, Jim said, by the way, I think there's a graduate from my program that's a teacher in your school district. Well, she's teaching mathematics. So immediately I was like, you name the teacher, only to find out that teacher was actually a teacher that I actually supervised in the middle school. So the first thing was I recruited a really awesome teacher. And that teacher was trained at Siena. She knew the courses. She was familiar, but she was ready to go. And I don't know if you've ever watched a video and starting a movement. But if you're starting a movement and you have a philosophy, who do you think the most important person in the movement is? If you could throw that in the chat real quickly. Do you think it's a person who has the innovation, or is it the person who is the first follower? Who is the most important person? What do you guys think? I see a lot of people say the innovator, but thank you, Stephanie. Amazing. That was a shock to me too. The first follower. And in this process, Jim and I were talking, but Jess Guthrie became that first follower. She became the one that really believed in it, and she executed it, and the students followed. And I thought that was really great because she was so central to the plan that we had. Because she did that, other teachers wanted to join on. No, if I fast forward into the future, I have 6 more teachers that are trained like Jess who are following that process. And I think that is the idea, is that once we got her started, it was easier for other people to follow her. So creating a great program in Middletown, I realized it was crucial to make sure that we had our first follower, our first class, to be prepared, to be successful, and really to showcase to everybody how well they're doing. And all of a sudden, people are just lining up to teach these classes for us. Then we get the chance to pick the best of the best. But it didn't all go that great, because I kind of told Jim, yeah, I'm gonna pack these classes. They're gonna be awesome, believe me. And I spent a summer doing all the grunt work. I'm calling parents, I'm talking to students, I'm here in my office late, and I'm just dreaming with parents. And I remember saying that with parents all the time. Could you just dream with me for a second? Right? And right, I'm looking at their transcript, and I'm seeing, they have really strong mathematical skills, but what are they going to do for the future? And I'm dreaming with parents. I'm telling you, they got so excited. And then eventually I got 29 students in my first 2 classes, 14 in one and 15 in the other. And that was it. I couldn't do any more, because by then, all the students were, their schedules were packed, all these things. So I got 29 students to start, and that was it. But we always had the plan to grow the program. And what these 29 students did for us was amazing. The 29 students and their families, their parents who went out and they tried to get internships during the summer. The parents were so excited about a computer science career. After coming up with that dream of what they want to do, after coming up with the idea of seeing the potential and the opportunities that await your children, they got so excited that the parents became such a great partner in selling this to the community. So the next year, we had a whole lot more students who were signing up. There were people calling me, there were people doing all these things. But we didn't just rely on the messages of the parents. We were very careful in making sure that we create opportunities for our students to showcase their work. And I put in the chat earlier that the pride that they put into their work. So if you see all the projects that Robin and Pauline showed, the students are so excited. So what we do is that we create afternoon events, and we invite parents, and we have food, and we allow the students to showcase their work. And the parents would come in and they'd walk through, and the students will display with such excitement. And I know there are so many parents come from students who are not in the class, and they would say, who do I contact? How do I get my kids sign up for this? Right? Well, how do I get my child sign up? Mr. Connell, who do I contact? Where's the guidance counselor? How do I get them in? So all of a sudden, we're seeing that the opportunities that people are starting to be aware of the potential of computer science, but not only that it's fun and engaging. And I think that was really the message that we want to let them know, that these are 21st century skills, but it's not just like learning mathematics or science. It is so hands-on. The classrooms are so active that the engagement is top-notch. So we went on and we chose the right teacher, and we went into the marketing what we're doing. So the first year we start off with the discovery course, and the second year we went into the Python course, and then you write the numbers kind of dipped a little bit for the Python, but the discovery course is now the largest course, which is the design, because it is that course that allows it's the gatekeeper course, and it allows students to really design, is this my true passion? Is that what I want to do? So I was a little bit disappointed that we only had like 10 students that go on to the Python course. But then the year after, the Python course grew even bigger. So now the next step was now to get them into Java, which is going to be the third course. But now Jess Guthrie is spread thin, so we have to find more teachers. I think that's where it came in. So we started looking for more teachers, and to get that, so we got them. We got more teachers. We got another teacher trained. And we're building excitement, and we're building this team. Now, one of the things that I've done is that of all my programs, I meet with all the programs that we've created. I meet with them monthly. I meet with teachers monthly. With computer science, I meet with my teachers weekly. We have a weekly meeting. And I think that was important because it's not only it's a new program, but the idea is that we wanted to show the priority of how important these 21st century skills are. So the biggest excitement I think I've had was that we had the humanities showcasing their all the work that students have done for the year. And I can tell you, there were 2 students in the class who were also computer science students. And they wrote codes with a depiction, that created an animation that depicted a great historical fact and a great historical event. And it was the showcase of the evening. Everybody wanted to see it. Everybody. And this is where the interdisciplinary part came in, because it became such an exciting piece that everybody wanted to see how computer science infused into history made history come so much alive. And it became so much alive that everybody got excited, and everybody wanted to partner with the teachers, the computer science teachers. How do we get our kids to start doing these programming? So it has become a really important part of not just the student classes, but a part of the Middletown culture, where the computer science students are now really showcasing and using the skills they've learned in computer science in other classes. And I remember Robert Moses once told me that. It's like, you know that you're developing skills when you're starting to apply your expertise to other disciplines. And I think the students naturally started to do that without anybody asking. So then the idea is, where do we go from here, right? So we started with discovery. We went on to doing Python, and then the third year was Java. So now, right, and then after Java, I remember calling Siena and talking to this team right here and said, where do we go next? I have seniors who did 3 years of computers, and now we need something to round out their experience, right? And that's when we came up with the web design class. And believe me, that web design class, Jim, I know, yeah, that web design class actually turned out to be highly enrolled, and it's so far there's a lot of excitement around that class. But what it has done, it has allowed us now to offer our students who are graduating with 10 college credits from Siena College. That is almost a perfect program in terms of from 9th to 12th. But as I got inspired and as we worked together, we realized this was not the goal. The goal was not just to have a high school computer science program. We want a computer science program that extends even all the way from K to 12. And that's the ultimate goal of Middletown. We want to be one of the first schools to do it, to have a fully, running K to 12 computer science program. So Pauline, and thank God that she gave me the opportunity to be able to offer the discovery course in the 8th grade, and so right. And this is so close to me because both my daughters are actually in the computer science classes as I'm talking. So I get to see it from the perspective of a parent as well. So here they are, right? And now we got all these students who are honor students because we're taking algebra, and they're so excited. So I went down to the parent night in the middle school, and I could even be a parent because in that moment, I had all these parents coming to me. How do I get my son or daughter shifted into the computer essentials course? That's what we call it in the middle school. How do I get, that's a discovery course. After seeing the activities and the things that they're doing, there are parents lining up to the principal to get their students shifted into the course. So we've officially started a movement. I know we couldn't, I mean, there were a lot of disappointed faces because we vetted everybody, right? It was really, the criteria was very strict to get in. But at the same time, you could have seen the disappointed faces, so many of them, because they weren't able to get into this discovery course called Computer Science Essential. So I know that this is going to make a big impact even going into next year. So we've moved our data. We've started with 29 students. We now have 933 students participating in computer science. That has given us so much excitement around what we're doing here in Middletown. But where do we go from here? And that's what I really want to get to. Where we go from here is that Middletown, we have 23 different languages in Middletown. We have an ELL population of students who graduate and think that they can't go anywhere but to the local stores to be a cashier. They can't go anywhere after graduation, and they're not even thinking about what's after that. I'm hoping that we can create an opportunity to have bilingual teachers to be trained in computer science, right, with a computer science background, to be able to develop and reach those students, to reach that community, that we can create opportunities for them to go into that. So that's a major goal. But having said that, I also have to continue with really supporting the teachers. Well, computer science is rigorous. We could definitely always lose students along the way. So in order to maintain retention, we have to make sure that we continue to champion active, engaging classrooms. And that's where we come in, right? So the administrators of schools, we cannot just allow the program to just run and not support it. Constant PDs, constant support, encouraging the teachers, making sure that it's showcased, and make sure that that active environment is maintained. And when it's maintained, showcase the students' work, give them that sense of pride so they can share it with everybody. We put it on the website, we put it all over, we make sure that it's known. So a couple of things that I've done so far, just this fall, a couple of things new that I'm doing is that I am getting all the advanced, the Java, the Python, and the web design students. We've invited Bank of America, and they're going to give them a certificate course in cyber security awareness. So that's one thing that I've scheduled so far for all the computer science students. The second thing that I've done is that I've created a coding competition. So we have a coding competition that's just within our community here. So for all the students who are in computer science classes, all 933 candidates, they can submit their code and submit the output, right? And or maybe a screencastify of it. And then what we'll do is that we'll have a big showcase during Computer Science Week, which is December 5th to 11th. So I'm hoping I'll get some judges from my Siena partners to help me to judge, but I'm so looking forward to it. Guys, thank you so much for allowing me to share the Middletown story. We're excited about what computer science has done. The excitement is infused in our community, and we're excited for what it's doing for our students after they leave here. So thank you.
Thank you, Norval. And for those of you who don't know, first of all, Norval taught in the Bronx. I think he describes it as the poorest school district in the country. A lot of his students were homeless kids. And so he thinks that like Middletown is nirvana. And just in case you don't know, every student at Middletown is on free lunch. They don't necessarily all qualify, but the school district, 75 or 80% of the kids qualify. So every kid gets free lunch, just to give you an idea about that school. And, as Norval's talking, I'm thinking, he went from having 29 kids that first year to 933. And of course you need enthusiastic, terrific teachers to do that. You need help from guidance. And I think guidance gets its help because there's an outstanding administrator. And if you can get an administrator, for those of you who are administrators at your school, look at Norval as an example. And if you're a teacher, you need to get your administrator to talk to Norval and say, this is what we were able to accomplish, because he's a fantastic facilitator and supporter of his teachers. So I just wanted to say that. The next slide, we only have a couple of minutes, so I'll do this quickly. But in addition to all the things that you heard that we're doing with these courses, I've been at Siena for 40 years, and I've been waiting for these last few years, this moment to be able to share computer science more widely in high schools. I've been really involved in math education, and we've been offering our high school programming contest since 1986. The last few years, we've had over 300 students participating. You see the other things there, the shared CS curriculums, PD meetings, taking courses at Siena. Pauline was our whole group tried to get the CSTA chapter going. Pauline was the lead on that. She was the president for the first, I think, 6 years that we had our chapter. So those are some of the other things that we have going. Just to give you an idea of the schools, we're working with about 30 high schools right now. That's the next slide, Robin, I think. Next slide. There it is. We're working with, we're working with about 30 high schools right now. This year, 17 of them are teaching the dual enrollment CS, Intro to CS course with Python and multimedia programming. We have 4 of them doing the Java course. And Pauline, I think, has 22 of them that she's leading on the Discovering Computer Science course. And Marianne Egan is pioneering with Jess Guthrie the web design course. And Berlin High School, small rural high school, is also working with that. If you look at those list of schools, some of them are very high need schools. Some of them are suburban schools, and quite a few of them are small rural schools. So maybe wherever you're from, if you're at this session, you probably fit into one of those categories. We would enjoy expanding our partnership with more schools, and that's the next slide. Yep. So we welcome all high schools. We are working with high schools as far out as Lake Ontario, and like Middletown is almost a 2-hour drive from Siena. So I think one of the silver linings maybe from the pandemic is we've all gotten used to communicating online and meeting online. And so the geography of New York is not that big a problem. The courses that we offer for high school teachers, Robin teaches our intro course in the fall, in the late afternoon, and Pauline is doing our Java course in the spring. Marianne's doing the web course, so teachers can take those courses for certification, and also it's a great way to prep for the classes. They are in the late afternoon, and most of the teachers, I think, are participating via Zoom. Our students are required to be in person, but we've found that it's not a problem having the teachers Zoom in for those courses, and they've been very successful. One of the things that we learned, we're over our time. But the qualities that make
keep talking because the room will close automatically. So just keep talking.
Okay.
I'll give you a warning.
And I think we go to 12:05. I think we go to 12:05, Jim.
Oh, okay. They're giving us a 12:05. Good.
Yeah.
Okay. So then I can expand on this teacher quality thing, because we were at a conference about, I don't know, 8 or 9 years ago, and I was talking to these people from Texas, and they were telling us about training teachers. And I was just like, how could they do this if they don't have a degree in computer science or at least extensive coursework? And I have to admit that I was completely wrong, because we've worked with teachers. Some of our teachers are certified in language arts and reading, some in science. Most of them are in math, and I guess the second most common area is technology. But more than, I think, the background, your background helps, obviously, but teachers who've come in enthusiastically, they enjoy problem solving, and they like to learn. They've been successful, and it's amazing to me, but we've now worked with over 30 teachers, and I have to say 97% of them have been successful. There's only one teacher that really struggled. So If you're sitting there, if you know some friends who have those qualities, enthusiastic, enjoy problem solving, love to learn, willing to take risks and learn with their students, we're going to need those teachers, because when those new learning standards come on board, we did an article in the State Math Teachers Journal last fall. New York's going to need 2,000 computer science teachers if each student takes one high school course. And we don't have anywhere near that. In New York, there are 90 colleges and universities that certify math teachers. There are only 7 that certify computer science teachers. These teachers are going to have to come from the current ranks of teachers. I think math departments and technology departments are going to have to supply the bulk of the 2,000 teachers that are needed to meet the new learning standards for all kids. So thanks for being with us today. If you can contact us anytime. We would really like having you be part of our partnership with all of these schools. It's a great learning community that we're working with.
Yeah, if there's any questions.
I think,
yeah, go ahead, Pauline.
I'm sorry, I don't know if we mentioned it. Siena was the first college in New York State to be approved to have CS certification for our pre-service teachers, and we are currently pursuing CS certificate, or a certificate program for in-service teachers to be qualified to teach computer science, so that when you apply to the state, you're guaranteed to be accepted. So the courses that you can take with us, they will go towards your certification pathway into computer science, and they're tuition free. The college has really stepped up and said, we want to support CS education in New York State. And if there's a seat in the classroom, a teacher can have it tuition free. So what a great opportunity. So
I see that our colleague and friend from New York City, Mike Szymanski, may be in this session.
Yeah,
and we like to kid Mike that we were the first college to get approved for teaching certification. And Mike comes back at us with, we were the first graduate program, but we're a little bit of competitors, but great friends. And Mike has really helped us with getting the certification, our certification program going for teachers that already hold a certification in another field. So thanks,
Yep.
Mike.
Yep,
And,
thank you, Mike.
If you're down in New York City area, Mike's at Hunter College. So any questions?
So I see someone wrote, this is great information. Someone wrote, this is great information, but why aren't current teachers that have been teaching computer science been granted an extension on our certs? That's a New York State Education Department decision. That's not our decision here. So teachers who are currently teaching computer science classes that are coded as computer science according to the New York State Education Department can apply for a certificate of continuing education to teach for 10 years in your current district computer science. And that is going to be opening, or that's due September 1st, 2024. So it should be opening in the next 6 months or so. So if you are currently teaching a computer science class, or you have in the previous 5 or 6 years taught one that was coded as computer science, and you have a professional or what's the other one? Professional or I forget what the other one, permanent certification already in another subject area, apply for your SOCI close to that September 1, 2024 deadline, so that you can have the full 10-year extension. Our contact info, someone's asking for our contact info.
Yeah, and it
on the Jamboard, yeah, there's contact info there.
It's also in the slides.
Also in the slide deck, yep. And thank you for everyone who reminded me permanent certification. Not sure if we missed any other questions. Someone asked about the learning community, a great way for you to get connected to the learning community is to do CSTA New York Capital District chapter. If you just Google that, that should take you to our CSTA chapter that we host at Siena College. And you can join CSTA for free if you're not already a member through the basic membership. You can join our chapter and get on our mailing list. We have 5 meetings a year that include professional development. They're hosted at the college, but they have an online option as well to join those meetings. And you can get connected with us. I'm on the executive committee, and Jim and Robin attend those meetings frequently as well.
I think now we're really over, but so thanks everybody for attending in the middle of the day on a Saturday.
Yeah.
Yes, we really appreciate that so much. Yes, and please, if you haven't already added your name and your contact information to the Jamboard, please do that. If you want to be contacted, leave us your email and we'll reach out to you, or you can reach out to us directly.
Right.
All right. Thanks, Norval, for coming out. You're amazing.
Yeah, you sure
Thank
are.
you so much.
You are.
appreciate you
You're
guys.
someone who's really amazing.
Thank you so much. See, I came into the office to actually do it because I wasn't going to trust my home Wi-Fi.
Good for you.
And Jim, I'm glad we got you on. Technically, got your technology worked out.
I don't know.